All right, welcome everybody. This is another great day in Taupo. It is the 30th of April and we're in level 3 in our lockdown, and hopefully we'll get out of that soon. My name's Craig Greenwood. We're here for another view on the world that we find ourselves now. So first of all, thanks for all the new subscribers that we've had. That's been amazing. And just remember, if you like what you're listening to and stuff and you want to share that, if you like it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. That really helps. So that's great, and we can do some more of these videos. So as I said, we're on level 3. We're going to go to level 2, hopefully. Well, some people are thinking on the 11th of May. I don't think we will until probably the 18th, to be fair. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we do come out on the 11th, but my view is that I think the government's going to come out on the 11th and say that we need another week to prepare to go to level 2. They're always a bit conservative, and they're going to spring it out a little bit. So I can't see us getting to level 2 until the 18th, which is a shame. I hope I'm wrong, because I've got a business that can't operate unless we're at level 2. Level 3 is no good to me. We need customers in the door. So for all of you out there in the same boat as me, I hope that we do, go to level 2 on the 11th. If not 18th, definitely. The sooner the better. And we need to make sure that the government out there knows that we need to get back to work as soon as we can. So hopefully that'll happen, and be looking forward to it. All right, so this video, as I said last time, it's going to be on, I asked everybody to either comment or phone me on what things they've missed the most about the lockdown. And so thanks for everybody that has commented and contacted me and told me about their stories and stuff. It's been really interesting what people have or haven't missed. It's been quite amazing. So I'm going to go through a few stuff that people have been saying, just to see how that compares to maybe what you've thought as well. So one of the first ones, and obviously some of these have been repeated a lot of different people. One of the first ones that came up and was often there was basically your Mitre 10, so your hardware stores. So if you're going to be locked down for a month in your house, and obviously we always have jobs that we should have done years ago and never got around to it. And so in order to do most of those jobs, you have to basically buy some stuff. You don't normally have all that stuff on hand. So it was a real shame that Mitre 10 or all those hardware stores, we couldn't have some kind of thing that was open, as in like level 3. It's no worse than the supermarkets. In actual fact, it would be better than supermarkets. That we could have actually got ahead and done some handiwork. So I understand how we're all, really frustrated that we couldn't do that. So that was one that came up a lot. This one was a good one, and I feel very strongly about this as well. Is people were saying that they missed their freedom. In other words, they missed their choice to be able to do what they wanted to do, not being told, that they couldn't do anything. And that's a big one, really. I mean, we had grandparents fight in World War II for our freedom, and yet here we are locked down under house arrest, basically, and can't do anything. We were in level 4, so that was a big one for me as well. It was more the fact that you couldn't go anywhere, and if you drove downtown and went to the supermarket, you had your roadblocks, your police asking for your ID, all that kind of stuff. It really felt quite intimidating, I thought. So that's a good one. We actually had a couple of people, funnily enough, reply that they actually missed nothing. So I don't actually know whether that means their life just carried on the way it was. So maybe they were an essential worker and they just carried on work, so therefore nothing changed, which is understandable. Or, yeah, I don't know. So that'd be interesting. But yeah, some people actually said they missed nothing. So that was interesting. One of the big ones that came out of this, which I was actually quite, I thought it was quite nice, was a lot of people said they missed work and they missed their work colleagues. So, which is really nice, because when you think about it, we spend a lot of time at work. In actual fact, awake time, we probably spend more time at work than we do at home. So you need to be working somewhere where you enjoy to be there, you enjoy your colleagues, you're having fun, and that's really healthy. So I've always been in a position of that, luckily, and I've always tried to tell people that, you should always, your work should be your passion. You should basically never work in anywhere where you do not like the company, the employees, whatever. Because that's just not healthy for you, your mind, all that kind of stuff. So if you're working somewhere that you really enjoy working at, well, it's actually not work, is it? You're just paid to go there and have fun. So it's a great way of doing it. So that's a good one. What else do we have? So fishing, a lot of people miss fishing, which is a nice thing, understandable. One for the ladies, hairdresser. So they are obviously missing the hairdresser, which is, I can understand now. I actually cut my own hair a little while ago, which is probably why I'm wearing a hat now, because you don't want to see that. It's probably not a pretty job, but I can understand how the girls want to go back and get the hairdresser. Interesting enough, I can't quite see how that's going to work when they are finally allowed to open. if the hairdressers are out there listening to this or whatever, if you've got any sense, what you should do is almost have your business going around the clock 24/7, and just because everybody's going to want to get their hair done at once. So don't just open from 9 to 5, mate. You want to open early, go to midnight, get some more staff and just whack it through, because you're going to have a chance to catch up, make a lot of money while everybody wants their hair done, and then you'll hopefully go back to some kind of normality. So you should make the most of it and do that. Obviously we had some people missing takeaway foods and hamburgers and stuff. So again, I still can't believe people slept in their car and waited till McDonald's opened to get a hamburger. So to me that means two things: either I'm missing out on some fantastic taste of McDonald's that I haven't actually appreciated before to sleep in their car all night for, which is quite amazing, or the rest of their life there's not much going on there, which is a shame. So I'm not sure which one it is. Maybe I need to go and try a McDonald's hamburger, and maybe I'm missing out there somewhere, I don't know. This is an interesting one. We had a few people ring up and say that what the thing they missed the most was time away from their partner. So I mean, this is, for some people, this is probably the longest sustained time they've been together. So that can, with kids hanging around and everything else, that can be a bit stressful. And I know here in Taupo that we've got a few hotels now that are being solely taken over by distressed wives, battered wives, all that kind of stuff, which is a real shame, really, isn't it? And it's just, but that's one of the outcomes of locking people up for a month. There's always consequences around the other way, health-wise, mental, everything else. So that's a shame. Hugs was a big one. People wanted, obviously just hugs, because we don't have any human-to-human contact. Humans are very social beings. We need to have touch. And I learned something really interesting the other day about that, which was I find quite amazing. If you take and this applies to humans as well, although they tested it in rats, if you take a baby rat and as an infant take it away from its mum, feed it properly, keep it warm, it dies. So without any motherly love, hugging, all that kind of stuff, it will die, which is quite amazing. And they reckon that if you get a premature baby, if you massage that baby 3 times a day for more than 10 minutes, it will put on weight, and if you don't, it won't. So, babies, rats, whatever, that we need, we're social creatures, we need to know that someone cares for us, that someone's paying attention, all that kind of stuff. So that's quite interesting anyway. Here's one that I certainly relate to. Kids being at school. I mean, we love our kids to bits, but we don't want them around all the time, do we? So kids at school, that's a good thing. That's one thing I've worked out from school, is that the amount of school work they do in a day is stuff all. If you once you take lunchtime out, playtime, drawing, all the rest of it, it's only probably an hour and a half worth of work, and the rest of it's just social. And I've got a young daughter, so I'm talking about primary school age. Secondary school might be a little bit different. So, but that's been quite cool. So I've been helping my daughter doing a bit of homework, and you realise that it doesn't take that lot of time, but you also realise that a lot of the stuff they teach is really not necessary. I reckon that's our teaching system, the way we educated our kids, was designed in the 1800s and hasn't really changed, which again, you think someone should maybe look at that and make it a bit more modern and a bit more useful. And a lot of stuff, was it 80 or 90% of stuff that you learn at school you'll never reuse? So what the hell are we teaching it for? Why don't they teach something that's a way more useful that we can use in everyday life, and stuff that we need to know for some other jobs? Well, then you should just learn that when you're going along. So anyway, that's my view on that one. And then of course one of the last ones was eating out at restaurants and stuff. So when your missus is not cooking at home, maybe it's time to go out and do some eating. That's just a joke, I don't have a missus, so. But anyway, like eating out is nice, going to a restaurant is nice, and I'm sure we're all going to support those when we get back to work, because there's a lot of restaurants out there that are going to need our support once they reopen as soon as possible, hopefully. All right, so that was interesting. So that was interesting to see what we've missed out on lockdown. I just can't wait till we get to level 2, which is pretty much as per normal, which would be nice for most people, and hopefully that comes sooner rather than later. So stay safe out there. My next video is going to be about how to keep your job safe. So some good tips on how to make sure that if your company that you work for are going to let some staff go, it's not you, and all that kind of stuff, so that you know where you're going. So until then, thanks very much, and stay safe, share, like, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.